Neo, The World Ends With You on the Nintendo Switch. This game was provided by the Maryland Library System. Apparently it's a sequel to a DS game that I used to own. I mean, maybe it's a sequel to The World Ends With You, which was a DS game that I played, not when it launched, but I played it before I started recording videos on this channel. And of course, I can't. Well, I mean, I'm not going to be. There's no legal way for me to create content based on DS games. I don't think I still have the original game, World Ends With You. That was an action RPG. I guess we'll call it an RPG. It was an action game that used the two-screen setup. And the whole bit about the game was that you were supposed to juggle two different characters on two different screens. This game seems to be a more traditional action RPG. I have the demo for this game on the PlayStation 4. I did not create any video content based on it. But I have the whole full game now, so I might as well play a bit of that. I played this game for about 40 minutes beforehand. There's a lot of unskippable cutscenes, so fair warning. I'm going to play the game from the beginning, back to the prologue, and then we'll skip ahead so you can see later portions of the game. Because a lot of the game is unskippable in terms of the cutscenes, and it's kind of frustrating. So what I'll do is, we're gonna overwrite the autosave data, but we're gonna skip ahead as I show you bits and pieces of the story up to the point where I stopped playing the game. So we'll kind of replay the first few minutes of the game. I get to show you some of the combat. Then we'll play the game normally. I could just start over from the beginning, but there's really nothing to report. Unfortunately, the first part of the game has a lot of fetch quests.
Huh?
Just a second. That the audio needs to be changed. No, the audio's fine. That's really loud. So we'll reduce the volume on the audio. Give me a second. Those voices were really loud, so we'll reduce that a bit. So I want to say this is actually where the game starts. The actual gameplay starts.
Eh?
Yeah, there's no autoplay here. One sec, I'm gonna sit through Windows thoughts. So it's right here on the L button.
Ne? Eh?
I can't talk to him yet till this cutscene's done. There we go. Now I can talk to him. Again, it's one of those games.
Oh, Linda! 会えた会えたフレッド声でか悪いなどうしても買いたいものあって並んでたんだわ気になるいやもっと気にしてみようよじゃあ服違うねもっと気にしようかじゃあなんだよリンドウの分もある食い物死神バージ何それ流行ってんの知んない学校でもつけてるやついるじゃんそうだっけそうだよ欲しかったんだわあや最初は見るだけって思ってたんだけど見たら買ってたお金大切にないや違うってリンドこれは価値あるやつすっげえ並んだんだからおいリンドの分おーいなんだよ落とすなってお前のせいだよすいませんたくこれが死神バッジねってなわけでなんか腹減らね飯 行く？
どっちでも。
じゃあ行こう。どこにすっかな。ラーメンかカレー。ま、道玄坂の方行ってみようぜ。
Okay, let's grab lunch then. It's here. Again, I couldn't advance till the cutscene ended.
Ne.
Okay, there's no spoken dialogue. For this part. There's no spoken dialogue for this part. I don't know if it makes a difference where I go. Nope. Not in the mood for salt water.
Ne.
Fine.
だね。
Let's get it. I do like some of the music they got playing so far. We'll see how it goes. I remember the original game had a very highly regarded soundtrack. I barely remember it. I probably need to go on YouTube and dig it back up again. I remember liking The World Ends With You. I don't remember liking it a lot. I remember kind of digging it for about a dozen or so hours. Because as an action game, it got kind of spazzy and button mashy for what it was. And it was one of those games where you had to use the dual stick setup. So you needed to use the dual screen setup, so you had to use the stylus. And I was never a fan of, any Nintendo game that made you use the stylus, unless it was like Kirby's Rainbow Curse or something, which I remember not hating. But I didn't like games that made me use the stylus. So the fact that I had to juggle the stylus with the buttons just seemed really weird. Like conceptually, it's a great game. Really, it is. It's a really ambitious game.
Lin-chan.
And it's one of those games that like people who don't play a lot of video games can be shown to show kind of the style and to kind of establish like some of the narrative ambition that video games can have. How stylish the art can be, obviously. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna feel about the mechanics, like I said, the spazziness of the combat, all the grinding you have to do in that game, all the collectathon stuff. They aren't gonna like that as much. But it's the kind of game you can show to people to show, like, oh yeah, this is what video games have been doing, way back, before, when video games were moving into the 3D arenas, and that was a 2D game on a Nintendo DS that's showing how you can use the hardware not to make like a barn burning game in terms of visuals or in terms of like ridiculously complicated and expensive technology. It's an idea about recognizing that you can just make a basic game with a basic 2D game with a lot of interesting mechanics and a decent story. That's all you need. You don't need a bunch of AAA nonsense in a game like The World Ends With You on the DS, and I was a fan of that part at least. Like, I think that kind of game should be repurposed into a more modern game with like tighter controls that are less spazzy. But I guess that's what this game is trying to do by making it a more conventional action game. It's kind of like those anime arena fighters, like Kill la Kill in a way. I think the Tales games, the latest games in the Tales series, like Tales of Arise, do that sort of arena-based 3D combat. So you're gonna see some over-the-shoulder combat later in the game. I'm not sure how well it's gonna hold up. I played it for about, like I said, 15-20 minutes. I'm not sure how well it's gonna work. Yeah, the ambient dialogue they use here, it's kind of like Arkham City, if you remember. There would be characters in the game that would say stuff in the background. Of course, it's not spoken in this game. But it's a good example of how to build a mise-en-scene without using spoken dialogue. So again, this franchise always has some pretty interesting ideas. I'll say that. Unfortunately, it really does bother me if the camera angle doesn't match the directions you're trying to go. Like I'm going east right now, but the only way for me to know that is to look at the mini map in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, and sometimes it disappears. So I'm going east right now, but the way you go east is by going down towards the camera. That doesn't make any sense to me, but you know. Maybe they're trying to do something with it. This is the kind of game that would mess with your head in that kind of way.
厳しいか。なあ、無理でも。え？なんだよ、一体。リンド？どうしたん？今の何だった？うお！なんか爆発した！なんかイベントやってる！見に行こうぜ、リンド！待てってフレッド。うわ、すっげえ！映画の撮影的な。なんだっけこういうの。超能力出す人。おー、なんだっけ。気になる。思い出せ。あ、サイキッカー？それだわ。てかフレッド、なんで誰も気にしてないんだろう。あれ、もしかしてみんな関係者？フレッド、これ危険じゃね？なんかね、俺も思ってたわ。
ごきげんよう。渋谷の民よ。愛しき民たちに次ぐ。
これ本気やばいやばい。
渋谷の民よ。
新しいゲームが始まった。
フレッド上。これさっきの。うわー！嘘だろフレッド！なんだこれ。うわー！
ごきげんよう。渋谷の民よ。愛しき民たちに次ぐ。
これ本気やばいやばい。フレッド逃げろ。そっちじゃない。あ
新しいゲームが始まった。
なんなんだなんなんだこれ。わかんねえ。あっぶね
熱い戦いを見せてくれよ。
I'm coming back.
Theme song was not great, unfortunately.
はあ、さっきの何？新しいゲーム体験会？
そんな情報あったっけ？
今さら新しい能力者？本気めんどくさ。奏で林道、古沢東西。
こんにちは。
誰？
死神桜根翔か。能力使ったでしょ。だから能力者の登録に来たの。
は？能力？登録って何の？
死神のゲーム RNS アップデート完了したね。はい、死神 SNS にようこそ。
死神 SNS？
ミッションは死神アカウントで通知されるから。
死神アカウント？
そうよ。はい、これバッジなんで。
バッジ？
それ使ってポイント貯めてゲームを勝ち進んでってください。
ポイントって何？
ゲームって何？
質問はお変えどうぞ。私も帰るし、他の参加者とか死神とかその辺に聞いてみて。じゃあさようなら、バイ。
She didn't say
死
loser.
神とか言ってた。
かも。死神ゲームとか。
なんかヤバい子だったのかな。
さっきのイベントもこのゲームなのか？なんだろう今の。RNS ってのが死神 SNS？ リーパーネットワーキングシステム。
SNS が変になってる。アカウントもチームとか。なんだろこれ、作っとく？
てか連絡可能ユーザーお前だけじゃん。全く不明。
お前らが新顔か？オーケー、ど素人だな。
何？
なんすか？
お前ら新チームを作りやがったか。ベテランチームの世話になってりゃいいかもなんねえで済んだもんを。最下位キープからの消滅ってのが妥当なとこだな。
待って、だからなん
俺は鈴木海一。鈴木一って覚えとけ。最強チームルーインのメンバーだ。
最強チーム？
それはつまり死神ゲームのってこと？いやいや、何それ死神って。
本当になんも分かってんね。完全終了まで時間の問題だな。まあいいだろう。絡んでやんのはもっと後だ。それよか。わい坊主ども、 生き残りたきゃまずはこいつらノイズを倒してみろや。
え、なんかいんの？
スキャンの砂地も知らねえか。集中すんだよ。精神の統一だ。目閉じて気配を探る。
うわ、なんだこれ。
おお。
さあ始まったぜ。チームメンバー以外は黒。みんな敵だ。だが奴らを真っ白に消してやるよ。お前らの勝ち。A minute to run, a lifetime to master。
何？さあ。
覚えんのに1分。血は少しはゲームを盛り上げろよ。つまんねえ手打ちやがったら盤面叩きはっかんな。
盤面って何？お前理解した？
わかるわけない。お前が死神バッジとか言ってっから。何が始まったんだよ。
あいつスキャンって言ってた。でノイズを倒すんだっけ？面白そうじゃん。やってみよう。
マジか。
Okay, the actual combat's gonna start a bit later because we have to go through this fetch questing bit.
スキャンするぞ。
Press the R button for this. But I didn't press any buttons, but it's time to fight. Yeah, so we're gonna mash on the attack button. So don't worry about it. Use left stick to move, evade their attack pressures. There's a dodge roll in this game. Use the left stick to move the character you last used. Yeah.
おーい、どっからでもかかってきな。
油断はしない。
Like I said, now it's an arena fighter. Frame rate's not sticking to 60, and that's unfortunate. So you see on the bottom of the screen we have an X button and a Y button. Press the X button to fight with to fight with a dude right here. Press the Y button to switch to him. The Y button's for melee attacks. Yeah. And the Y button's for these projectile attacks. On the bottom of the screen, my Y button attacks are completely used up, so I'm on a cooldown right now. So press the X button instead. So you see the meter on the bottom of the screen. That shows when the attack has been depleted. And it's on a cooldown. So once it's been depleted, you can't use it for several seconds during the cooldown. So we can switch in between the two characters at will by just pressing the button that activates their attack. That's the secret. There's not a whole lot to the game at this point. There's not a whole lot to the game at this point, but I was trying to explain the basics. You're switching characters based on the attacks you use. And the character you most recently attacked is the character that you control. Then you use the B button to do all your dodging and such while that character is moving around. So you can't control both characters at once. You're switching between one character and the other by switching the buttons, which activates their attack. That's how it works.
なんだ?
Okay, so no spoken dialogue for this part.
おい。
Yeah, this game, remember, obviously this game is using Japanese voice acting, but a lot of the music seems to be in English. And it's not particularly good English, so. And yet, it is what it is. It's well produced, but the lyrics are bad. And this seems to be a Japanese-English hybrid, as far as this particular song. And they were calling it the Shinigami. It says the Shinigami. Shinigami apparently is a Japanese word for demons that basically operate like Grim Reapers. So you heard the word Shinigami during that earlier conversation with the raven-haired chick. They even had a couple of comments about a Shinigami account, which they called a Reaper's account. I understand. But again, it's interesting. Like, again, I don't speak Japanese, obviously, but I understood enough about the Japanese they were saying to know that they were translating it with a lot of. They had a lot. It was a pretty liberal. It was a pretty loose interpretation of the original Japanese. So I'm like, okay, I get it. I understand. Actually, I need another cutscene. Okay, I might need another cutscene because I have to go back and check my DVR. Give me a second. Listen to the music while I do this. Okay. Sorry for the delay there. I had to turn on my DVR. I forgot to set it up during the cutscene. So we'll make future adjustments during the cutscene then, won't we? Okay. Back to business. Head to Hachiko, which is down here. He's just taking his galaxy brain for a test run. Here's the English voice. Here's the English language music now. Did he say life is like a box of chocolates? Pretty sure he did. Yeah. Oh! A lot of rap metal in this game, I guess. You know, all the kids are into rap metal these days, aren't they? Like he sounds kind of like the dude from Disturbed. I don't know how I feel about that. Yeah, he sounds like a dude trying to imitate Disturbed. Down with the sickness, I guess. Press the A button here near one of these pensive persons to give you an even clearer idea what's on the list. Yes, let's eavesdrop on people by pressing the R button. Teenage Dream by Katy Perry. Scan するぞ。集中だ。Well, we are in Hachiko. They want me to go here? There we go. Yeah, it's just a dude in a hoodie.
Yeah.
He didn't say all that, but that's how they translated his dialogue. That's what I mean. I'll take a lot of liberties with the localization, obviously. But then again, there's no spoken dialogue here. Yeah, there's no spoken dialogue here, so yeah. So I understand. Even during the spoken dialogue sequence, it's obvious they took some liberties, but you know, whatever. Maybe this game has been Funimationed as far as its localization goes. You know, totally sus. I can't believe anime Susgate was a thing for like a month and a half, apparently. We're gonna talk about that later, I suppose. Susgate. Was that Don't tease me. Don't toy with me, Miss Nagatoro. Was that the anime, or was it some other anime where they said totally sus? And people got mad because they used the word totally sus in the anime. In the English localization of the anime, they used the phrase totally sus, which obviously wasn't in the original anime. Funimation always took a lot of liberties with its voice acting. I think they do a lot of ad-libbing too. Like, it's not on the level of an anime like Ghost Stories, but it's pretty. It gets pretty. It's not. Let's just say it's not on the. It's like Working Designs video games back in the 1990s. Like, they got pretty like. They were pretty significantly transformative of the original content sometimes. Like, I remember the Digimon localizers here in America got sued by the VAs because they're like, you're paying us like we're dubbing. You're paying us like we're dubbing over something else that's already been created, but we're actually significantly transforming the original content. So you need to pay us like real actors. Don't pay us like dub artists. Don't pay us like people who are dubbing someone else's work, because this has already been significantly transformed. And of course, if you saw Digimon, the original Japanese version of Digimon, yeah, they made a lot of changes, and Fox Kids ultimately aired it. So yeah, they made a lot of changes, obviously. And 4Kids always made a lot of changes to the source material. Okay, this one's kind of annoying. Find the 4 skulls in the crossing. I spent half an hour looking for these skulls, because the game is incredibly, like, obtuse about how to find them. This one's easy to find. I guess our boy here, Rin, is ace. There's a skull here. So you have to get in the area where that exclamation mark prompt appears. Then you press the A button to activate it. That's how you know the skull works. That's how you know that's one of the skulls you need. It took me half an hour to find. This one was easy to find, but I couldn't find the other ones, even though I had the map to guide me. So I'll show you the map in a second.
Oh.
Okay, so let's scan this one first. There it is. We don't have to fight right now, but we'll press the A button. Yeah, we can't run away, so we have to fight him. Fine. So here you see on the bottom of the screen what I just explained in the first fight. Using that cycle, reduce that meter below the character who's attacking. So when that gauge is depleted, it'll have to reboot. That's the cooldown period I'm talking about. But that meter will go up if you don't use it. So if the item isn't in a cooldown period, it will still start to recharge its energy. But if you completely deplete it, then it has to be rebooted, and that's the permanent cooldown period I'm talking about. It's like 3 to 4 seconds, apparently. The load times are kind of weird. They're shorter. Okay, X. X button's depleted, so press the Y button to switch. Y button's depleted, press X. X button's depleted, switch to Y. And dead. So you saw what I did there. I just kept using the attack until it was depleted. Then during the cooldown period, I switched to the other attacker, and that solved the problem. I'm not gonna turn off the audio next time. So give me a second. I'm gonna turn off the audio for the next fight. Yeah, it seems easy now, doesn't it?
えろ。
So the other skull, we're near the D skull right now. So the other scores are above us, to the right, and up and to the left. So we're gonna have to use the crosswalks as sort of a guide to help us find those skulls. But again, it took me half an hour to find them because for some reason I wasn't paying attention to where the prompts were. Because remember, you need that prompt, the exclamation mark, to know where the skulls are. So I'll show you what I mean in just a second. We're gonna go up here and find the B one, right?
どうする?
Yeah, we're going to the B skull right here.
スキャンするぞ。
I don't see it.
集中だ。うん。
ああ。
整理してみるか。
Let's see if we can find the C, where's the C skull? Well, there it is. See the exclamation mark? That's where it is.
考えろ。スキャンするぞ。
Here?
整理してみるか。
Right there.
お、
うん。集中だ。
So we'll scan for this guy with the red thought balloon.
Dana. どうする?
So let's find the A skull, which should be up here.
整理してみるか。
Yeah, follow the crosswalk here. Har, hardy, har. There it is. Right there, right where the exclamation marks are.
Hmm?
What?
This is just more gated content. Yep, got the next one.
Oh. Oh.
Now what?
ごきげんよう。
Oh. Was this just like one big game of Pokemon Go? I was never impressed with anime. These, like Squid Game, I never saw Squid Game. All these anime about death games and augmented reality games, I just never really liked any of them. And I never liked Battle Royale either. I just thought it was, without, I'll do the long review later. Battle Royale for me was just a really crummy melodrama with like some really like cringy character drama. And I never really bought the contrivance of, yeah, everyone has to kill each other, okay? Once you buy the contrivance of that, you have to buy into the melodrama, which is like really bad. So again, I just think it's really cringe Japanese drama. And I guess if you speak Japanese, it might seem less cringy. But I'm watching it with subtitles, and everything I can think is that this is just bad soap opera acting. That somehow got elevated into great art, and I'm sorry. Like, I'll do the long review later. But I am not on Team Battle Royale. I think it's a massively overrated anime. It's not even an anime. I just think it's a massively overrated movie. And the concept has been turned into like at least a dozen anime and manga, and most of them are bad. Because they think that it's inherently interesting to have kids kill each other as part of a game, which again, once you get past the contrivance of it, a lot of these stories are just kind of,
Nah.
they're just kind of by the numbers. So the idea of manufacturing stakes and stories by making them games just seems like a weird way to frame a narrative, you know what I mean? Like, why does it even have to be a game at all? I mean, it's just... And of course, there's this whole meta commentary about reality shows, and like that, even that defeats the point of it. Even that undercuts the story, because it's like the reality shows are a real thing. People are killing each other on reality shows. So why are you making a movie about a reality show where people actually kill each other? Where's the commentary there? If it happens in real life all the time. It doesn't have to be a game. Like, why do you have to frame, human beings killing each other in the context of a reality show to make some commentary about how people don't value human life? Like, what are you trying to say, really? That you can't tell a story with real human behavior, so you have to use the framing device of a reality show or a game to convey how dehumanized we are. Is that the commentary? We'll talk about that later. It's a contrived way to make a really pretentious point that was better told with like actual good storytelling. But we'll get to that later, I guess. So no, I'm not a fan of battle royale or reality show based movies or anything like that, generally speaking. So we're going this way? Again, if I'm going east, why do I have to go down towards the camera? It's stupid. It just confuses me. It makes the map more confusing. Is there an option to adjust the map? I can also save the game here. We'll worry about that later. I can't adjust the freaking map. Okay, no. I've been playing this game for nearly an hour and I've made practically no progress. I've gotten into 2 fights, maybe 3. I don't remember the DS game having that problem. I mean, this isn't as bad as like... This is like Persona 5 territory, practically. Which I guess people are used to now because... Yeah, efficiency in storytelling is overrated. Efficiency in storytelling is undervalued in a world that thinks every story has to be binge watched as part of a 13-episode season or something. No one knows how to tell a 2-hour story anymore. Next, damage has been a cycle. The right condition to summon the beat drop. Effectively another cycle. The gauge is shown. There's initially a beat drop combo. Okay, so don't keep attacking with the same button. Switch buttons once the beat drops, I guess. Sell the score of mashups. Okay. I might not even need to do any of this. Let's see how it goes.
ふざけんのやめとこか。やってやいけ。俺らいけてんじゃん。
まあまあかな。
てりゃとひやら。でよしもらった。さすがリンダ。とてりゃうりゃ。てりゃよしもらった。さすがリンダ。とくらえ。
Okay, so when it says drop the beat, I'm gonna switch characters. So that was the whole idea, is that when it said drop the beat, I switched to the other attack. Which is supposed to increase my groove or something, I don't know. Do I even need to do that? I don't know, I'm just mashing buttons at this point.
倒しきれてない。囲まれた。やばくね？これさ、ゲームオーバーってどうなる？怪我とかしないよな。
するかも。
もうやめる？
どうやって？
RNS をログアウトするとか。
ログアウトって。
運営呼ぼうか。ちょっと死神さん。ノイズが消えた。 俺たちの力？
絶対弱え。
おお、誰かいた。
波の隙すら組めやしねえ。
あ、やばい人？
なんだお前ら、参加者か、それともただのゴミか？まあ何でもいい。ゴミなら俺がまとめて捨ててやる。
Just one night, I crack open my secret, then I see them come in flocks. One after another, they're looking for the sweetest plot.